I think we all know that feeling, when we've been waiting around forever for an order to come through, and we finally get one, we get excited, we drive to the restaurant, only to find out that there's a problem. How about the one where you pick up the order, drive to your customer's address, only to find it doesn't actually exist, and then on top of that, you can't reach your customer? Both of these scenarios are major time wasters. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to stop those in their tracks, as well as a few others. What's going on, everybody? I'm Zach Drives Fast for the RideShare Guy, and in this video, I'm going to share steps that I take with every order to ensure that I accept the correct orders and unassign problematic orders immediately. Alright, scenario number one isn't something you need to do with every order. However, doing so will save you a lot of time and frustration in the long run. Let's say you get an order paying substantially more than you're used to seeing in your market. You get excited, think it's your lucky day and that you just got a unicorn. So, you drive to the restaurant only to find out that some prick already picked up the order. Another all too common scenario is you show up to the restaurant and it does exist, but there's a problem with it and they either won't or can't contact the customer. See, here's the problem with unassigned orders. All it takes is a couple of drivers and all of a sudden that order's value could double or even triple, getting you excited. So, an order paying substantially more than you're used to seeing can be a red flag. Let's dive a little deeper into that. Now, to be clear, I am not telling you to decline orders that look too good to be true, but rather to ask yourself if there's a reason that that order should be paying that much. After all, in our world, unicorns do exist. Ask yourself if the restaurant is known to be extremely slow. Maybe the weather's horrible and the app is just having a hard time getting it accepted in the first place. These are both reasons that an order could pay double or even triple what it usually would. On the flip side, if it's 5:30 on a Saturday and the weather's perfect, that's probably a red flag and you should ask yourself why the order is paying so much. Alright, here's how you fix this all too common scenario. You accept the order and then you call the restaurant and ask them if they still have the order for, we'll call him Johnny H. Tell them that something didn't quite look right on your end, and they'll tell you if they have the order. In the event they do have it, thank them and go pick it up. In the event that they don't, you now have a choice to make. Are you going to unassign the order and have another driver show up to go pick it up only to find out it doesn't exist? Or are you going to call support and waste your time on the phone for $3? Our second scenario is one that you should do with every single order you accept. Google the delivery address. Seriously, you have no idea how much time and frustration this can save you. I drive in a market that's mainly apartments, and on top of that, we have a large university and dorms. While most apartments in my market are simple enough, some of them don't have parking available or they're a big pain in the ass and just not worth the hassle. Here's a quick example. There's a complex in my city that consists of 3 buildings, all of which are 4 floors. The buzzers are always broken in this building, and the customers may or may not be available. On top of that, they don't have elevators. I know that if I end up at this complex, there's a very real chance I'm going to end up waiting outside looking sketchy as hell, or having to climb a bunch of stairs, which isn't a big deal, I just need to make sure the pay is worth it. The university. There is about a negative 14% chance I will ever be caught dead trudging around a campus that large trying to find one specific person who ordered. It just isn't going to happen. I drive a standard. We have a community here where the driveways are about a 40-degree angle. Hard pass. My point for telling you this is it's a really easy problem to avoid. Just Google the freaking delivery address before you leave the restaurant. Would you rather find out at the restaurant that it's going to be a problem or once you get there? The next thing you should do with every single order you accept is screenshot the offer screen as well as the order payout screen. Time and time again, I've seen the mileage displayed on the offer screen to be flat out wrong. In even worse scenarios, I've heard of a few drivers who have actually gotten paid less than what the offer screen showed them. In the event that there's some kind of a problem with the mileage or the payout, you having a screenshot will help you fight your case with the gig app. Admittedly, Uber is much better than DoorDash about handling problems like this. However, if you get the right person on the phone, it doesn't matter which company it is. They'll both compensate you more for your time and effort when they screw something up. The next thing I want to talk about is route planning. Matter of fact, let me know in the comments if you plan your route yourself or if you just let the GPS handle it. If you're the type who just lets the GPS handle it, there's nothing really wrong with that, but you may be costing yourself time and therefore money. GPSs generally try to take you the shortest distance, which is usually great, but it's not always what we want. This is the intersection of Telegraph and Meridian in my market. This intersection is Satan. Otherwise attentive and safe drivers forget how to drive at this intersection and lose their ever-loving minds. All the time. People block this intersection, and you frequently have to wait 3 or 4 lights before you can get through. I avoid it like the plague, unless it's like 10 o'clock at night. I always opt to take a longer route. GPS doesn't factor in things like human error or stupidity into its route planning. Only things like accidents. Which do you think is worse? Having to drive an extra quarter of a mile or getting stuck at the same light for 3 cycles? Let me know in the comments. Another reason you may opt to take a slightly longer route is to avoid school zones and railroad crossings. Knowing what time your local schools let out will help you avoid a PTA roadblock and therefore keep you earning money. Just check your local school district's website. Here, for example, different schools let out at different times. If you know that a train goes by at the same time in your market every day, don't go pulling some Dukes of Hazzard shit and try to race it. Just take a different route. It's not worth getting stopped. Matter of fact, there was a story that recently went viral where a driver was on a delivery and got stopped by a non-moving train. Apparently there was a longer route that the driver could have taken, but they weren't about to do that, so when they were unable to get a hold of the customer, they left the food at the railroad tracks. Let me know in the comments what you would have done in that scenario. This specific scenario would be easily avoidable with the right tools. Now, don't get me wrong. In-app navigation has gotten quite good, and it generally takes you in the right direction. Now, it's fast and easy. However, I would encourage you to think about your route in your own head to avoid any potential slowdowns. If that's just not your jam, or you don't know your market very well, just download Waze and leave it running in the background. It'll alert you in plenty of time to avoid slowdowns. Unlike Google Maps, Waze is extremely accurate with information about slowdowns, speed traps, and wrecks. This free app can save you a ton of time and frustration, so download it. As we wrap up this video, I do want to say it is almost impossible to cover every possible scenario in one video. So, consider subscribing to the RideShare Guy newsletter so you can stay up to date with news and tips and tricks. You'll find a link for it in the description. If you haven't done so yet, please do consider pressing the like button and subscribing to the RideShare Guy. You can catch my videos here every Tuesday. If you enjoyed this video and you've ever wondered how sustainable gig work really is, check out this video next. I'm Zach Drives Fast for the RideShare Guy. Take care.